Kunda Langoku Le Brajamanam Kunda Langoku Le Brajamanam Kunda Langoku
Yashodabhiyo lokalada mana param vishnamatyantatu drutya gopya Yashodabhiyo
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you all for joining this morning's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita class. We are very blessed to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you. And today we will continue from.
I'll be right with you in 1 minute.
Sure, Maharaj. Sure, Maharaj. Please take your time. So while Maharaj will be back, today's discussion will be and class will be on Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 5, and we will start from verse number 203. And the title of the chapter is The Glories of Lord Nityanand Balaram. We see a lot of devotees are still joining. So Hare Krishna to everyone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And those of you who are wondering why I am here talking, because we do not have His Grace Parikshit Prabhu and Anusya Mataji available this morning. They might join little late. So I'm doing this seva to host this class this morning. And my name is Dhir Krishna Das from ISKCON Harrisburg. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Those of you who would like to sing, maybe they can unmute and join. You can chant while Maharaj will be back.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Sanātana-kṛpāya pāinu bhaktira siddhānta Śrī Rūpa bhakti-rasa-prānta. By the mercy of Sanātana Gosvāmī, I have learned the final conclusions of devotional service. And by the grace of Śrī Rūpa, I have tasted the highest nectar of devotional service. Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī, the teacher of the science of devotional service, wrote several books, of which Brihad Bhagavatamrita is very famous. Anyone who wants to know about the subject matter of devotees, devotional service, and Krishna must read this book. Sanātana Gosvāmī also wrote a special commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, known as Dasama Tippani, which is so excellent that by reading it, one can understand very deeply the pastimes of Krishna in exchange of his loving activities. Another famous book by Sanātana Gosvāmī is the Hari Bhakti Vilas, which states the rules and regulations for all divisions of Vaishnavas, namely Vaishnava householders, Vaishnava brahmacharis, Vaishnava vanaprasthas, and Vaishnava sannyasis. This book was especially written, however, for Vaishnava householders. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami has described Sanātana Gosvāmī in his prayers Vilapada Kusumanjali, verse 6, where he expressed his obligation to Sanātana in the following words. Vairagya bhakti-rasa-prānta apayayam mam anubiksum adam kripam buddhirya paraduka dukhi sanatanastam prabhum asrayami. I was unwilling to drink the nectar of devotional service possessed of renunciation, but Sanātana Gosvāmī, out of his causeless mercy, made me drink it, even though I was otherwise unable to do so. Therefore, he is an ocean of mercy. He is very compassionate to fallen souls like me, and thus it is my duty to offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also, in the last section of Chaitanya Charitamrita, specifically mentions the names of Rupa Gosvāmī, Sanātana Gosvāmī, and Jiva Gosvāmī, and offers his respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of these three spiritual masters, as well as Raghunath Das. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami also accepted Sanātana Gosvāmī as the teacher of the science of devotional service. Śrī Rūpa Gosvāmī is described as the bhakti-rasa-charya, or one who knows the essence of devotional service. His famous book, bhakti-rasa-prānta, is the science of devotional service. And by reading this book, one can understand the meaning of devotional service. Another of his famous books is the Ujjvala Nilamani. In this book, he elaborately explains the loving affairs of the transcendental activities of Lord Krishna and Radharani. Magyantimirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksavinmilitam Yena Tasmai Śrī Gurave Namaha Maum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Puchadine Nirvisesa Suvari Pastyatya Ganaste Satarne Vanshakapa Durubhischa Kripa Sindhu Paevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare. So all of these books that are mentioned are all very deep and very essential knowledge of the process of devotional service. Bhakti-rasa-prānta is the science of devotional service. Srila Prabhupada gave us a summary study, and it's called the Nectar of Devotion. That is not a complete rendition of the Bhakti-rasa-prānta. It's simply a summary study of the Bhakti-rasanas, but was sufficient enough to give life to our teachings of the science of bhakti. Bhakti is a great science. What is that science? Science is to connect the soul, the living entity, through the process of activity in the mood of devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it's a very deep science. What we have today in the form of the nectar of devotion is sufficient to give us a clear understanding. Srila Prabhupada has made a miracle by presenting that work. But what he gave was only a summary study. just recently, it's been revealed that a team of devotees have worked for the last 12 years to finish the actual Bhakti-rasa-prānta Sindhu. And just the other day, we heard about the results. 5 volumes, 700 pages each, known as Bhakti-rasa-prānta Sindhu, which is the complete Bhakti-rasa-prānta Sindhu. So, nectar of devotion. Devotion is an ocean. It's unlimited. And therefore, you can't really exhaust all of the characteristics, qualities, activities, and personalities who make up that process of pure devotional service. So this knowledge is a great science, and we should take advantage to read these books. Here also it talks about Sanātana Gosvāmī's works, Dasam Tippani, and Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and Hari Bhakti Vilas is very important, as it's been emphasized here. It's the rules and regulations for all of the divisions of Vaishnavas. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu commissioned Sanātana Gosvāmī to do this work, and he emphasized, write this book for Vaishnava householders. Of course, it is for Vaishnava householders, but he expanded it into all of the divisions of sannyasis that's mentioned here. And so there's an ocean of transcendental knowledge. There's no reason why we should be ignorant about the process of devotional service. All the knowledge has been given in depth, with great explanations, with commentaries to support those explanations, and by examples of the lives of the great souls who lived according to these teachings. Now, it's a great science, and it's like we go to school to get some kind of degree from some university in order to situate ourselves in a particular occupation. We study very diligently when we're in university to make sure we get the best possible grade so we can be high on the list of getting the occupation we're looking for. And so we put a lot of time and energy in establishing our material situation through study, universal study, university study, which is material knowledge, which is exhaustible and limited. But here we have the essence of our life, and that is the practice of pure devotional service. When we know that science, we will be fixed in the process of devotional service. All of our questions will be easily understandable and answerable, and all of the clarity that needed to execute devotional service will come through the knowledge we received in these great books. So the Goswamis, they wrote hundreds of books. Jiva Goswami is the most proficient of all of the Goswamis. He wrote 400,000 verses, which make up many, many, many texts, especially the Tat Sandarbhas, or the Sandarbhas. Tat Sandarbha is only one. There's Bhakti Sandarbha, Priti Sandarbha, Paramatma Sandarbha, Krama Sandarbha, Krishna Sandarbha. There's a whole list of different Sandarbhas. It's a great science of bhakti, and Jiva Goswami is proficient. And this knowledge that they have given us, the Goswamis are all disciples of Lord Chaitanya. So they received their knowledge. Sanātana Gosvāmī and Rūpa Gosvāmī specifically received their knowledge directly from Lord Chaitanya as he spoke to them this knowledge. And Jiva Goswami also, he studied many of the works that were already there. He was junior in age, but he is senior in the proficiency in terms of the volumes of the works that have been put out on the process of pure devotional service. So we have so many books to read here. The devotees who have just finished Nectar of Devotion have also, Bhakti-rasa-prānta Sindhu, have said they'll be also working on other texts that were limited and were put out just to get the information out, but in a very limited and sometimes a very ununderstandable way. And so there's going to be a whole series of scholars working on putting out more of the works of the Goswamis. One of our senior Vaishnava sannyasis, Swami, has done over 175 books of the Goswamis, taking their teachings and translating it into English, and also many of the works also have commentaries. And so even within our society, we have many devotee scholars who have studied the books and are pure in their activities of execution devotional service. So we should read and try to understand, and then go deeper into this great science. And then our minds will become purified. Our hearts will become free from any illusions and any, what we say, doubts. We ask questions in order to clarify doubts, but many of the questions will be answered simply by the works of the Goswamis. Lagu Bhagavatamrita by Śrī Rūpa Gosvāmī is an ocean of knowledge. It is one of the most deepest and interesting of all transcendental texts that we have at our disposal. And it has many subject matters. It covers a variety of subject matters. And also the knowledge of Krishna, which is unlimited. Unlimited means you can never exhaust it. And the more you know about Krishna, the more you're attracted to Krishna, and the more you develop love for Krishna. So this knowledge can awaken transcendental love as we go deeper and deeper into the knowledge of Krishna, who is unlimited in his activities also. His pastimes in Vrindavan are the essence, or you might say the epitome or the pinnacle of all transcendental knowledge. That knowledge is very difficult to understand, but the Acharya, especially Rupa Gosvāmī, Ujjwal and Dilamani, and Brihad Bhagavatamrita, all of these texts help us go deeper and with clear understanding. We need to hear the explanations according to the philosophy connected with these in order to go on to understand Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. All of his pastimes are on the highest transcendental platform. So this is here. So to hear about all of these books and all of the importance of these books is actually an inspiration for us to go deeper into our Krishna consciousness and read these books and study these books. Look for seminars that are being presented within the ISKCON society by devotees who teach these books. Just like recently, this year in April, we did a whole presentation on Jiva Goswami's Mana Shiksha, which is a very interesting and deep philosophical. For 4 days, two of us, Bhuta Bhavan and myself, we carefully studied the works of the Bhakti-Vinod's commentaries on these verses, along with the commentaries of others. And we presented a seminar, and devotees loved it. And it was very interesting. There were a lot of questions, and a lot of transcendental knowledge is revealed. Because a lot of this knowledge is subtle in the sense that the absolute principles are given, but then you have to understand these absolute principles according to time, place, and circumstance, time, place, and candidate, before you can actually understand. Just like it talks about, there are different kinds of householders, there are different kinds of sannyasis, all within the context of Vaishnava practice. So what are the different kinds? What are the characteristics of the different kinds? Where do I fit in my ashram within these different categories? then we can also see certain characteristics that we may need to develop, or certain tendencies we may need to eliminate in order to perfect the activities of our ashram. All of this is very, very important for our devotional service. It sharpens your intelligence, it awakens bhakti, and it will help us to be situated nice in transcendental knowledge. And then when we are faced with questions or doubts, everything will be easily understood in relationship to this knowledge that we have. There'll be no doubts about it. Many of the problems that we have is simply due to the lack of understanding of the science of bhakti. I was just reading something today about the different characteristics or different anomalies that one may experience, and what are the antidotes for those different anomalies. For instance, anger. How do you ameliorate, or how do you stop the force of anger or deal with anger? You learn the quality of forgiveness. Forgiveness is the antidote for anger. There's many other principles that we also need to know. Many of them are written in the Bhagavatam, in Prabhupada's purports, and many of them are in the texts also. And Srila Prabhupada refers to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Bhakti-siddhānta Saraswati, his Guru Maharaj, Jiva Goswami, and other acharyas. When he writes his Bhakti-vedanta purports, he quotes them, and many times he paraphrases them and applies the knowledge that they give according to time, place, and circumstance, especially for the Western mentality. So this knowledge is interesting. Sometimes I say we don't have we wish we had more time to spend time reading these books. There's so much knowledge available. And even now, even today, many of the devotees are writing books on Prabhupada's books, and that is our tradition. The spiritual master writes, the devotees read and understand, apply, and then they write their own books based on the knowledge they receive, and keep the essence of that knowledge intact, but expand the knowledge in different directions. Like today, I was reading how Shishupal, he was so envious of Krishna and how he blasphemed Krishna, and how he did it in the assembly of so many great souls. We hear about the incident in Bhagavatam, but we don't hear about the details. One devotee in our movement, he took that Leela and did research and found so many details of how that actually expanded. What happened, how Shishupal attacked Krishna, how Shishupal attacked Krishna's followers, and how they responded, and ultimately how Krishna dealt with the situation. So it's really interesting. We have a tendency, many of us like to learn about great personalities in history. We go to school, one of our favorite subjects is history, because we want to hear about what happened in the past by great personalities in the material sense, and that they teach that as history. But now we have our transcendental history. These personalities are connected with us because they are in the line of what we are practicing. In other words, the historical personalities we hear about in our universities and schools have nothing to do with us, really. And the knowledge about them doesn't really give us much help in our present different situation. It's just some knowledge about what happened to them in the past and what they did. But here we have this knowledge of transcendental forefathers, family members, great personalities who are teaching us and also living according to the knowledge. That way we can gain so much from that and actually same time enter into that arena of great personalities. A person is a great personality when they are absorbed in devotional service. So here we hear a lot when this Raghunath Das Goswami in his prayers Vilapa Kusumanjali express his obligation for Sanātana Gosvāmī by explaining he was unwilling to drink the nectar of renunciation. Sanātana Gosvāmī was the epitome of renunciation. One time he actually is known as the epitome of Vaishnava humility. Sanātana Gosvāmī is given that position as being the humblest of all of the Vaishnavas. And there's one story where he wanted to come and see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this was in the month of July, one of the hottest seasons. And he had to cross in front of the Jagannath temple. But he was feeling so unqualified to be seen by the pujaris of Jagannath who go in and out of the temples doing their service for Lord Jagannath, that he felt, I shouldn't take that route. I'll take the route that goes across the beach, and that way the pujaris won't have to see me. But the beach was burning hot sands. So he went that way. When he got to Lord Chaitanya, he offered his respect. Lord Chaitanya looked at his feet and he said, your feet are burning, they're all red. How did you get here? He said, I took the path along the beach. Lord Chaitanya said, those sands are burning hot. He said, why didn't you take the direct route past the Jagannath temple? And then out of his natural humility, he didn't respond. And Mahaprabhu could understand why. This was an example of Vaishnava humility. He was known for that also. Also a great author. Also the oldest of all of the Vaishnavas. He was the brother of Rūpa Gosvāmī. Rūpa Gosvāmī, as it says here, is the bhakti-rasa-charya, who taught that in Nectar of Devotion, bhakti-rasa-prānta. And now that we have the whole complete package of bhakti-rasa-prānta, devotees can take advantage of that book. It's actually 5 volumes with a 41-page introduction. If you read that and study that, you'll know the whole science of bhakti, how it works, everything about bhakti that is available. So, yeah, and Rūpa Gosvāmī he teaches the science of devotional service. Those of us who practice devotional service, we are called Rupanugas. That means we are followers of Śrī Rūpa Gosvāmī, because he is the Rasacharya. Sanātana Gosvāmī is the Sambandha Acharya, and Raghunath Das Gosvāmī is the Prayojana Acharya. These 3 classifications, Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana, make up all of the knowledge of the Vedas. Sambandha means to connect. It means relationship. So all of the knowledge about relationship, what is our relationship with Krishna? What is the relationship with Vaishnavas? What is our relationship with Vaishnavas on different levels? What is our relationship with the material energy? Relationships. This Sambandha topic is the most voluminous topic in the Vedas. And Sanātana Gosvāmī is called the Sambandha Acharya. Abhideya means the process of bhakti, how bhakti works, the execution of bhakti, the 9 processes of bhakti and their execution in detail. That is Rūpa Gosvāmī. And the goal of devotional service is Prema Pumartha Mahan, to come to the platform of awakening our natural love for Krishna in devotional service through the activities of serving the Lord in different ways. And that is Raghunath Das Gosvāmī And if you read the book Ujjwala Nilamani, of course, actually not that one. Vilapa Kusumanjali, His Holiness Shivaram Maharaj has taken that text. There's 96 verses in that Vilapa Kusumanjali, and he's going through verse by verse, giving commentaries on the verses, quoting the acharyas, quoting the works of the acharyas, and also adding his own transcendental realization. 3 of the volumes have already been published, and he has covered about just a small portion of these 96 verses. They're very deep in Vrindavan, the mood of Vrindavan, and Raghunath Das Goswami's service directly to Srimati Radharani. The Manjaris, there are Manjaris. There is Rupa Goswami's Rupa Manjari in the spiritual world. Sanātana Gosvāmī is Labanga Manjari. Raghunath Das Goswami is Rati Manjari. All of them, the Manjaris serve Srimati Radharani and make arrangements for Radharani's connection to Krishna in so many different ways. So this is a great science. Dive deep in there so you can shut off all of your other forms of knowledge that are on the material world. You don't need all of that. We don't need to know all of so many things that the material world is throwing at us. They do it for some profit. They sell it to you so they can make some pecuniary gain on it. But this knowledge is available, it's free, and it's meant to bring us to the perfectional stage of life. So these books are written, and the Vaishnava culture has the most transcendental knowledge of any of the religious sects in the world. Vaishnava has so many books. You can fill warehouses full of books on Vaishnava topics, the pastimes of Krishna, the process of devotional service. It is unlimited. You can't exhaust it. You can't even exhaust one of the works. The essence that we have, Srila Prabhupada has done a magnificent presentation of Srimad Bhagavatam by giving us his Bhakti-Vedanta purports. That text alone, 18,000 verses, is enough for pure devotional service. And just to exhaust that will take you at least 15 lifetimes. It is so voluminous and so full of transcendental knowledge, you can't understand it in one lifetime. So we should take advantage, because the acharyas spend so much time, energy, and this is their compassionate way of helping us to achieve perfection in devotional service by giving us this transcendental knowledge. Okay, so we can stop here. You can open it up for questions. If you want to ask questions based on the different transcendental literature that is available, that would be an interesting discussion. So you can stop sharing the screen and go back to the gallery.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for this wonderful class and encouraging us to read. So many books are available in our ISKCON. Let me try to unshare this. Okay, stop sharing.
Yeah, go to gallery.
Gallery view, yeah. So yeah, devotees, we can make it interactive, opportunity for question answers. You can chat or you can raise your hand. And I see Prasidh Chaitanya Das Prabhu. You can unmute yourself, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances in your lotus feet, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, here we discuss about so many important and devotional books, which is Bhakti-rasa-prānta, Nectar of Devotion, and Hari Bhakti Vilas books. But when when we heard about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has given only 8 verses of Sixthastakam, and he has given all the summary and all the clips of devotional services in these 8 verses. So sometimes I personally feel ki these 8 verses are enough then enough for understanding of devotional service, and in
Yeah,
the whole life.
but you can't understand them just by reading them. That's why Prabhupada said that the Goswamis wrote all of their books based on those 8 verses. So all of the literature we have from the Goswamis is coming from those 8 verses. So you can read those 8 verses, but how much will you understand? And we can explain. Now we have done presentations on the 8 verses Shikshastakam, and what is the meaning, the essential meaning. I'll give you a summary. Those 8 verses cover the 9 stages of bhakti: Strata, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana, Kriya, Anartha, Nivriti, Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhava, and Prema. Those 8 verses. They also comprise sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. Each of the verses are aligned with one of the names of the Hare Krishna mantra. That's why there's 8 verses and there's 8 names of the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. There's actually 16. So the first verse is Hare Krishna, the second verse is Hare Krishna, the third verse is Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, like that, on to the completion. 16 names, 8 couplets aligning with each of the verses. And the whole science of bhakti is there, but you need to unpack it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave it in a PowerPoint form, really. And the acharyas have unpacked it. Bhakti-siddhānta Saraswati and Bhakti Vinod Thakur have written a book on meaning, some of the meanings of these verses. But that's just a drop of what these verses actually comprise. So we should recite those verses every day before you chant your japa. We do that in the temples. The temples, in the morning program after the Tulsi Arti, we recite these 8 verses in a unified way, just to connect us with these verses. But we have to read them, we have to understand them, we have to go deeper. Just like the first verse, it has the 7 main benefits that one gets from chanting the holy names of the Lord. Now, Chaito Darpana Marjanam is 1, Bhava Mahadevadni Nirvapanam 2, Shreya Kraiva Vichandrika Vitadanam 3, Vidyavadhu Jivanam 4, Anandam Budi Vardhanam 5, Patipadam Purnam Rita Sadhana 6, Sarvatma Snaparam 7, Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So the first verse has the 7 benefits that one gets, main benefits that come by chanting of the Hare Krishna. And you have to unpack each one of them and go deeper to understand that. We've given seminars on that. We're doing a book. It's almost finished, I guess. It's been held up many times, but we have a book coming out on the Shikshastakam prayers, which comprises all of the lectures that I gave throughout the years on those prayers. I find those the most interesting of all because they're so clear in the essence of the process of devotional service, but we just skimmed the surface. That's all we could do. So therefore, you need to hear more about them also, not just read. It's nice to read them because that sound vibration is purifying. That's why we sing them. We don't read them. Chaito darpanam harjanam bhava mahadevagni nirvapanam Shreya Kaiva Vichandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhana Patipadam Punam Rita Swadanam Sarvatmasna param param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. And you can sing him in different melodies also, very transcendental. Nice.
That's good.
So these verses are meant to be sung, not just recited. Yeah, so yeah, don't think you can just read those and that's enough. If you want to stick only with that, that's fine, but then you have to understand what each word means, what each verse comprises, and how the verses connect with each other and present the whole science of pure devotional service. And the last two verses are very deep in the mood of Prema Bhakti, that when we try to explain those verses, we can only scratch the surface at best.
Even Guru Maharaj, one of the verse that na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitama jagdish kame. So previously we used to sing song in in our family party. We used to sing सुख संपत्ति घर आवे पाप मिटे घर धन का सुख संपत्ति आवे. I need so such type of thought process we had previously, but this is the actual real bhakti and devotional service we understood by these 8 verses.
Yeah, he's saying nadana, najana, na sundara. Not dehi, dehi, dehi. That's the contra. That's the thing of pushing out all of the dehis that we may present to Krishna. Give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. We don't want any of it. We want Janmani Janmani Ishwari Bhavatat bhaktira.
Yes. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maharaj, for that wonderful details. Anyone else has any questions, any comments on today's topic or anything else you would like to ask Maharaj?
Bhagavan Chaitanya.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, I was searching for the raise hand button. You knew I'd have something. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupada. All glories to Vaishnavas everywhere. Guru Maharaj, I may have asked this question before, but today you presented. Before one thing I caught from the presentation today, you said a great personality is simply a personality that is, I'm paraphrasing, steeped in Krishna consciousness or something like that. So absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Yes, that is awesome. That's good to put away in the back of the brain to compare what is really great, not the ability to swing a bat or something. So that's awesome. So basically, I always arrive at this. I've been in Krishna consciousness for about, arrived at about 2.5 years ago, and this proceeding. We have our main books. We have our Bhagavatam, we have our Bhagavad Gita, and we have our Chaitanya Charitamrita. Those are our big books. But then there's all these other books. So my problem has always been, how can I even go to another book without having finished the main books? So can we sneak in a little bit of all these other wonderful books that you talk about once in a while, Maharaj?
Yeah, come to our retreat in April. We'll be doing one of the Shastras again.
Mhm.
You can hear seminars. You can Prabhupada encourages us to read regularly Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, but then nectar devotion is also essential. And nectar of instruction. Nectar of instruction is more of it like a very succinct summary of nectar devotion.
Yes.
It only comprises 11 verses.
Power packed.
So come to Mayapur this year in January, and I'll be giving a seminar for um, 12 days on that topic, Nectar of Instructions. You can come and take part in that seminar. That's from January 5th to January 16th.
Mhm.
But there's others who have given presentations on it also.
Yes. Maharaj, I think 2023 summer, you gave a seminar in Detroit, Farmington Hills, on Nectar of Instruction. So that
Right.
is literally my first introduction to you, Maharaj.
Yeah. Well, that was a summary of the summary.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
And Maharaj, that seminar in January will be in Sri Mayapur Dham, India.
That's in Mayapur, yeah.
Okay.
Under the guidance of MI, Mayapur Institute.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you, Maharaj. And that is January
You have
5th.
You have to sign up for that course,
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
but there are people who sometimes we allow one or two other people who happen to be there to, you might use the word, just come in and listen.
Mm.
But it's an assigned program.
Okay, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
So this is the mercy of our spiritual masters that we get these. I know we are so short of time, but when we attend these seminars, we can at least get introduction to these wonderful literature in our sampradaya. So much is there. Thank you, Maharaj, for encouraging us. And Balwan Nitai Das, Prabhu, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and you and the Vaishnavas everywhere. Jai Shri Nityanath. That's part of one of the things that made me fall in love with the Krishna consciousness movement initially is the wealth of literature. It's phenomenal. You could spend the rest of your life reading just the main source texts. What to say of the deeper literature? And it's wonderful. I'm very excited to hear the new translation of Bhakti-rasa-prānta Sindhu. I know there's a 4-volume available of that now, and so I'll wait for the updated version to come out. It's nice. Of those, I think maybe you could call them minor literatures compared to the major texts. Do you have a favorite? Is there one that sparked your love of Krishna of these? Not so much, it sounds like there's a lot of, this wonderful instructional text, but like the Krishna Karna Amritam or something like that, is there one that jumped out at you, Guru Maharaj? That is my question.
Well, I wouldn't call Srimad Bhagavatam a subsidiary text. I would call it a main text.
Yeah, that would be a major text. I'm referring to, these, other than the big three, just as a want of a term, minor texts.
Well, my favorite always is Srimad Bhagavatam. And many of the commentaries and devotees have taken sections of Bhagavatam and re-explained them in detail. Well, ultimately, the main three also is Chaitanya Charitamrita. That is an ocean of spiritual devotion. I read CC every day, usually, and then Bhagavatam, I usually do it through the classes and other works. These are the two main things. And then when I come across other literature, I'll somehow take some time and like I'm reading some stuff on Vilapa Kusumanjali. The next volume is about to come out in November. So I look forward to that. So yeah, pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. Um,
I have that. That's by what's it? Oh,
Shiva yeah,
Uh,
Shiva
yeah. But that's high up there for you, Maharaj.
Well, there's so many books. Right now, I'm basking in Chaitanya Charitamrita.
How many times have you read that over? I assume you've read the Charitamrita multiple times.
I put out a work. It's called Charitamrita. What is that called? Chaitanya Charitamrita Revisited. It's a summary of the thing. It's a PowerPoint presentation on Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's 110 pages. It's available, whoever wants it. It's something I did. I didn't put it in written form. I did it online, so it's more like an ebook. Chaitanya Charitamrita Revisited. The life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can identify more with his activities than with Krishna's. Krishna's much more deeper and hard to understand. Mahaprabhus are full of transcendental knowledge that is relevant to our practice of devotional service. The qualities of his followers and the characteristics that they exhibit and their activities they performed is just a whole educational expression that we can understand what it means to be a devotee.
I find them just as mysterious, though, many of the Leelas in there, but certainly just reading it itself is bliss. I mean,
Yeah.
to read.
Yeah. But you'll find there are purports. Purports will expand on the meanings of the verses. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Balaram.
So,
Okay.
Maharaj, how can we access this PPT of Chaitanya Charitamrita Revisited?
I can put it on. I can send it to you. You have to give me your email address. I don't have that.
Okay, Maharaj. So I do have your email address. I will send an email request to you.
Okay.
Thank you,
I
Maharaj.
might be able to get it to you today because right now it's 5:30 in the evening in India, and I have a whole series of activities the rest of the evening.
Sure, Maharaj. Whenever you can, Maharaj.
So yeah.
Any other devotees? Any?
More questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and Prabhupada. All glories to the devotees on the call. I just wanted to ask you a question that towards the end of the class, you're mentioning that just reading and understanding those 18,000 verses and purports by Srila Prabhupada, that will be the thing that, or like, after understanding those 18,000 verses, we can go back to Godhead. If you won't be able to understand in this lifetime, what's the like? How can we guarantee, that we can
If you
go back?
understand the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam, that's all you need to know. The purport of the Bhagavatam is Ete Cham Sham Kalam Krishna Ete Cham Sham Kalam Pumsam Krishnas tu Bhagavan Swayam. That of all of the manifestations and incarnations, they're all plenary portions and portions of the plenary portion of the absolute truth. But Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. the source of all other incarnations. And the means by which one can attain it is the last verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Go to the last verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is chapter 12, Canto 12, chapter 13, verse number 23. 12, 13, 23 is the last verse. So Bhagavatam ends with this verse. Nama Sankirtana Yasya Sarva Papa Panasanam Pranaya Dukkha Samasta Tam Namami Hari Param. I offer my obeisances, respect unto the Supreme Lord Hari, the congregational chanting of whose holy name destroys all sinful reactions, and the offering of obeisances unto whom relieves all material sufferings. So the essence is to come to the platform of developing love for the Supreme Lord, Hari, and the means to do that is the congregational chanting of the holy names, which cuts through all of the illusions of the material energy and awakens one's natural love for Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. That's all. More and more and more. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj. I don't see any more hand raised or anything on the chat. I don't know, Maharaj, what's your schedule? So whatever you would like to do.
Wait a minute. Let's see if there's one or two more questions.
Okay.
I see some people trying to think of a question. Let's see. The problem is not enough people have their cameras on.
Yes.
We only have 6 people, including me, 7, including me, have their cameras on. And we have 30 people listening. Turn your cameras on.
Yeah.
There you go. We're getting better. Okay. Okay, Revati, what's your question?
Hi, Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Already still a Prabhupada. Yeah, thank you so much for this very nice class. I was reading this Prabhupada morning before this class, and I think questions, all the devotees ask same questions also strike me, like so many books are there. How should I read all these books? So do you have any suggestions, like, that we can just focus on some books and progress?
Focus on, Prabhupada said 4 books. Nectar of Devotion, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. 4 books.
Yeah.
That is sufficient in itself to give you a lifetime worth of study, knowledge.
Thank you very much.
And just like when you hear about the books of the Gosvamis, at least I get interested in Bhakti-Vinod Thakur's Jaiva Dharma. That's the whole science of bhakti explained in a very interesting way. And just you should start with those 4 books and just read and study. Then you'll start to think. You also may branch out to some of the works of the Goswamis.
So it's also very important, Guru Maharaj, to read the Goswami books, so understand their mood, so we can.
Prabhupada did say we should read Jaiva Dharma.
Jaiva Dharma.
He recommended that. Also, Chaitanya Shikshamrita by Bhakti-Vinod Thakur. These 2 books he did mention. Of course, this purport also talks about Hari Bhakti Vilas. That's come out in multiple volumes. The volumes are really big. That's rules, regulations, and restrictions on how to execute devotional service. Hari Bhakti Vilas. So, and start with the main books and study those. Nowadays, devotees are putting out so many books on Bhagavad Gita. to help us understand that all of the questions that you could possibly ask regarding your struggle in material energy is all answered in Bhagavad Gita. There's this little book called Bhagavad Gita Companion. It's a little tiny book. It takes your different struggles and connects them with a particular verse, and you get the answers. Anxiety, fear, relationships, what else? Anger, all of the different problems we may face. There's verses that answer these problems and give you the formula for overcoming these situations. I was just talking to the author this morning of that book. He's doing a second book on the same thing, going into the emotional aspect of devotional service based on Bhagavad Gita. The emotional verses that deal with like raga dvesha vimuktas tu indriya, like something like that. That's a verse that he quoted. And so the devotees are churning the nectar of the ocean of bhakti and putting out more and more books for different people on different levels, where they can find all the answers to all their specific questions. Like people say, well, how do I give up, being envious towards this other person? Well, that's answered also in the Shastras. Everything is answered. How do I deal with my relatives who don't want me to practice Krishna consciousness? That's also answered. So many, even the most basic, simple, ordinary, everyday type of situation, you can apply the answer to it in some form or another through the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna put everything in Gita too. But we get overwhelmed. We read the text and we can't understand. That's why these supplementary literatures are meant for us to understand what's there in the main literature.
Thank you so much. As you mentioned, devotion is ocean. There's so much ocean is there. We need to just engross in that.
I would recommend the book. I sent it on the conference. I think was the latest ISKCON World News. In there, there's the interview with Devamrit Swami, who was one of the main persons who worked on the Nectar Devotion. So he's there, they're giving him an interview, 27 minutes. He's describing what they did to make those books manifest. And he also talks about the book, the topics themselves in the books. It's interesting. I sent that out. You just have to look on your email to all of my disciples. It's the ISKCON World News, the latest one that was sent out. I think there's a new one coming up either today or tomorrow, but I can't remember the particular volume, but it's the latest one. Anyway, Sri Devi.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Speaking of reading, I used to be a voracious reader of books pre-Krishna consciousness. And somehow, after coming to Krishna consciousness, also I was very good at reading books. Then somehow my mind became very restless and disturbed and so on. So again, reading is a big challenge for me. So I thought that taking advantage of this Kartik month, I will resolve to read one chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day. Just simple reading every day without fail. So I've just taken that up now in this Kartik month, and I'm hoping that that habit formation will help me continue reading. Just wanted to seek your blessings and the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis to carry on.
There's a progression. There's a progression that comes in the process of our execution of devotional service, especially when it comes to reading. The progression is when we first join, we want to gobble up everything that's available. And as we read, we get so much knowledge, understanding, and then we wanted to distribute this knowledge. So as we grow in our Krishna consciousness, we spend more time giving the knowledge than taking it in. So then that becomes our service, to take the knowledge and distribute it. And that's called preaching, teaching, like that. So that happens. Many senior devotees, unless they actually sit down and write books, they don't read a lot, but they read something, and then they're out preaching and giving Krishna consciousness in the form of the knowledge that they have gained, and through the practice and through the philosophy. That's pretty much how things develop. You want to share it more as you read it more.
Thank you, Maharaj. There is a question on the chat. Where can I get companion book, Gita companion book?
Just sit tightly for a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay, Maharaj. In the meantime, anyone else would like to raise their hand or put any question on the chat?
Okay. So here's the book. You can see it. I don't know. It says
Yes,
Gita
Maharaj.
And it's a small book. You can see how small it is. And it's done by one devotee, Rasik Ramandas, disciple. He stays in GEV. And let's see, what does this say here? It's the website for the book is tulsibooksales@gmail.com. Or the web is actually www.tulsibooks.com. So Tulsi Books is the catchword. If you go to this website or this email, you can check tulsibooksales@gmail.com or info@tulsibooks.com, either one. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can read the fine print as I put it up there. But that's, he's on the first page on the inside. He gives you the way to connect with and to get the book. Gita Companion. I was studying it yesterday. I went through the whole book just to find out what it was about. And the subtitle is when life gifts, not gives, but gifts. When life gifts problems, Gita gives solutions. When life gifts problems, Gita gives solutions. Yeah. It's a breakdown of the teachings of the Gita in connection to different. There's two sections in the book. The second section is more like a graph, which is divided into three sections. The negative states and the positive states and the verses that align themselves with that. And the state and the things are anxiety, fear, sadness, guilt, pessimism, obsession, loneliness, anger, pride, envy, abuse, pretense, stress, laziness, confusion, self-doubt, distraction, and greed are the 12 topics. And then their positive states are also aligned with the negative states. And then the different states like anxiety, there's 3 states of anxiety he puts. There is there's anxious, nervousness, and panicky. So 3 states of anxiety. Anxiousness, nervousness, and panic. Fear, there is fearful, scared, terrified. Sadness is sad, gloomy, depressed, like that. And so it's quite detailed. And now he's doing another book, part 2. So his name is Rasik Raman. And if you did you write that down, Tulsi Books? Somebody should write this down. I'll give you the connection and you just go to this website. It's Tulsi Books Sales at gmail.com.
Hare Krishna. We posted the link on the chat.
Yeah. Okay, good. It's a nice little book. And you can go deeper into the Bhagavad Gita at the same time. You get your questions answered in relationship to the different anomalies that we may face in our life. So much is available. You just got to go for it. You can just cut down on your sleep. That's all. If you cut down on your sleep, you'll have more reading time. We sleep too much.
Thank you, Maharaj. Anyone else has any questions for Maharaj? Any inquiry? Yes, Kiran, ask Prabhu. You are on mute, bro. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to you, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupada. As said in the Maharaj, last 3 days we were listening to Brooke Bhagavatam by Rūpa Gosvāmī. We had in the Dallas, we had a session by Session Maharaj. It was too good. 3 days we were attending that Brooke Bhagavatam. It was too good, Maharaj. We were so joyful and we learned about how the devotional services and how the devotees should behave. It was like...
Who did it?
Arjun Saka Das Maharaj.
Okay.
It was like wonderful session. We learned so many things, Maharaj.
Yeah.
It was like... it was too good. We like all the devotees, like how it went from Brahmana to all the towards Gopikas.
Get the recordings, take notes on it, go back over it.
Sure.
Where you can imbibe it.
Yes, Maharaj. Sure, Maharaj.
We have a question from Sri Devi.
Yes, Maharaj.
Speaking of verses to inspire us, to help us in our journey, just like this Gita Companion book. Many times in my life, when I was very, very disturbed, very, very down, I would remember verses from the Bible. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And even now, I remember those words. Even now, I remember, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Many verses from the Bible come to my mind. So is this something which is, what to say, bona fide, Guru Maharaj? No, because we are Vaishnavas, should we focus on our Vaishnav literature?
Anything that deals with devotional service is relevant. But best to focus on our tradition, not to get so broad in your thing. But if, just like you quoted that verse, that's powerful. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. That's very powerful. The Lord is taking care of me. What do I have to desire in this world? Everything is taken care of me by the Lord. Yeah, so we can, I mean, we have our previous training in different traditions. Doesn't mean we throw it all away. But if it aligns itself from with our teachings, which many of the verses do, then we can also see the connection between the different major religious traditions. The goal of bona fide religion is love of God. And whatever helps you to get to love of God is valuable, useful. But I wouldn't suggest we start reading outside because, as I mentioned, you can't even begin to exhaust what we already have in front of us. Okay.
Thank you.
Right. So yeah, so we can stop there and maybe we can chant a couple rounds and then we can end with a little japa.
Sure, Maharaj. That will be wonderful.
Okay. I'll drop off after a little time and then you can continue with your japa session.
Sure, Maharaj.
And did you send me your email so I can send you Chaitanya Charitamrita Revisited?
I will send you, Maharaj, very soon.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Jai Shri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Yeah, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare. Expansion of Ananta Sage. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Put the shades down. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram,
Time is 6 minutes. Exam time, good time for exam is 6.
5 minutes more. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare 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 Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, devotees, for joining this morning and for the Japa session. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Holiness Candramauli Swami ki jai. Vancha kalpatarurvesha kripa sindhu vyayevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.